You're watching this because you want more money, more respect, more control over your life, but you don't have it. And you know why? Because you were taught to ask for permission instead of taking what's yours. You were trained to be likable instead of powerful. You smile when you should be silent. You explain when you should be walking away. You seek approval from people who will never give you what you want. I'm going to tell you something that will separate you from everyone you know. Getting rich is simple. It always has been. But it requires you to become someone you currently are not. It requires you to stop being the person who waits, who hopes, who tries to deserve success through moral goodness. That person will stay exactly where they are, poor, overlooked, replaceable. This is not a motivational speech. I'm not here to make you feel better about your situation. I'm here to perform a psychological autopsy on your behavior and show you exactly where you're bleeding power, where you're giving it away, where you're kneeling when you should be standing. Most people should stop watching now. This will make you uncomfortable. It will contradict everything you were taught about kindness, fairness, and playing by the rules. If you need the world to be just, if you need to believe that good things come to good people, close this video. Go back to your comfort. Die there quietly. Still here? Good. Then understand this. Once you see what I'm about to show you, you cannot unsee it. You will notice the patterns everywhere. In your boss, in your relationships, and in every negotiation, you will see who holds power and who surrenders it, and you will never be able to pretend you don't know the difference. This is the point of no return. You explain yourself constantly, every decision, every boundary, every choice. You think this makes you reasonable, mature, sophisticated. It doesn't. It makes you weak. When you explain, you reveal doubt. When you reveal doubt, you invite challenge. When you invite challenge, you surrender your position. A king does not explain why he made a decree. He issues it. The fact that it came from him is the only justification required. But you justify your rates. You apologize for your time. You explain why you can't do someone a favor, why you need to leave early, why you're worth what you're asking for. Every word you speak is a brick removed from your tower. Here's the hidden dynamic you're missing. Explanation is submission. It's a signal that you believe your decision requires external validation, that you are not the final authority on your own life, that someone else's opinion of your choice matters more than the choice itself. Machiavelli understood this completely. The prince who explains his actions to the people is the prince who has already lost their respect. Authority does not justify itself. It exists or it doesn't. Your correction is surgical and immediate. The next time someone questions your decision, your price, your boundary, you will say this: "That's my decision." Then silence, no elaboration, no softening, no, "I hope you understand," or "it's just that." Those phrases are blood in the water. Watch what happens. They will push back. They will ask why. They will try to make you feel unreasonable. This is the test. If you explain, you fail. If you repeat yourself calmly and change nothing, you pass. They will either accept your terms or leave. Both outcomes are acceptable. What is not acceptable is negotiating with yourself on their behalf. You are not their equal seeking consensus. You are the authority they either respect or do not. Act accordingly. You're too available, too eager, too grateful for attention. You respond immediately. You clear your schedule. You show up early. You say yes before they finish asking. This is why you're poor. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. This is not a metaphor. This is market physics. When you are always available, you signal that your time has no competing demands, that you are not occupied with important things, that you are waiting, and what waits has no worth. The wealthy understand this instinctively. They are never available on your timeline. They respond when it suits them. They have conflicts, commitments, other priorities. They make you wait, not out of rudeness, but out of structural reality. Their time is already allocated to higher value activities. You are an interruption to a full calendar, not the highlight of an empty one, but you drop everything. You bend your schedule to accommodate anyone who asks. You think this makes you professional, reliable, service-oriented. It makes you desperate. Here's the mechanism. When you are immediately available, you remove all tension from the interaction. Tension creates desire. Desire creates willingness to pay. When someone can have you whenever they want, they value you exactly as much as anything else that they can have whenever they want, which is not much. Machiavelli wrote that the prince must be both loved and feared. But if he cannot be both, fear is safer. Why? Because fear respects distance. Love demands proximity, and proximity breeds contempt. When you are always there, always accessible, always ready, you become furniture, familiar, ignorable. Your correction, delay every response, every availability, every yes, not as manipulation, but as accurate reflection of a full life. You have other clients, other projects, other priorities. These things do not rearrange themselves for convenience. Your calendar has structure. That structure does not flex for people who have not yet proven their value to you. When someone asks for your time, you check your calendar. You offer a slot 3 days from now, not tomorrow, not in an hour, 3 days. This is not a game. This is how valuable people operate. Their time is allocated in advance. Yours should be too. And when they say it's urgent, you say, I understand. My next availability is still Thursday. No apology, no exception. If they cannot wait, they are not your client. They are someone else's emergency, not yours. Scarcity is not created through deception. It's created through actual selective allocation of a finite resource. Your time is finite. Act like it. You're skilled, educated, experienced, and no one knows because you were taught that good work speaks for itself. That quiet competence eventually gets noticed. That showing off is beneath you. This is peasant thinking. The competence that remains hidden is competence that doesn't exist, not in the market, not in negotiation, not in perception, which is the only field where wealth is made. You think your skills are self-evident. They're not. You think people will discover your value if you just keep doing good work. They won't. Here's what actually happens. Someone louder, less skilled, more visible takes what should have been yours. They don't take it through deception. They take it through presence. They are seen. You are not. And in the kingdom of attention, visibility is the only form of existence. The hidden dynamic is this. People do not reward competence. They reward demonstrated competence. They reward the performance of mastery, the signaling of authority, the proof of capability. You have the capability, but you refuse the proof. You do excellent work in silence and then wonder why no one values it correctly. Machiavelli would call this suicide. The prince who hides his strength is the prince whose kingdom gets invaded. Your competitors are not more skilled than you. They are more visible, and visibility converts to currency faster than skill ever will. Your correction, document everything, share everything, make your process visible. Not in a desperate look at me way, in a this is how mastery looks way. You finished a project, show the before and after. You solved a problem, explain the mechanism, you have expertise, demonstrate it publicly, repeatedly, without apology. You think this is arrogance. It's not. It's documentation. A surgeon doesn't hide his surgeries. A general doesn't hide his victories. A king doesn't hide his decrees. They document power so that power is recognized. You must do the same. Every piece of work you complete is content. Every problem you solve is a case study. Every insight you have is a public demonstration of your authority in your domain. You will publish it. Not because you need validation, but because the market needs proof. And when you do this, something shifts. You stop being someone who does good work. You become someone known for doing good work. That difference is worth millions. Most people fail here. They have the skill, but not the stomach for visibility. They retreat into modesty and call it virtue. Then they complain when someone with half their talent and twice their presence takes the contract, the promotion, the clients. Do not be most people. You react to criticism, to disrespect, to unfairness. Someone insults you and you defend yourself. Someone undervalues you and you argue your worth. Someone dismisses you and you fight for recognition. Watch powerful people. They do not react ever. You can insult them, lowball them, dismiss them. They remain unchanged. Not because they don't notice. They notice everything, but they understand that reaction is surrender. It's proof that you care what they think. And when you care what they think, they have leverage. The mechanism is simple. Emotion creates urgency. As the urgency creates mistakes, mistakes create loss. You react emotionally. You make a decision from a compromised position. You accept less than you should. You break your own boundaries to resolve the discomfort of the moment. But the person who provoked you, they remain calm. They watch you squirm. They wait for you to negotiate against yourself. And you do every single time. Machiavelli wrote that fortunes change, but the wise man does not. He meant this exactly. External circumstances will attack you constantly. Markets will shift. People will betray you. Deals will collapse. None of this matters if you remain internally unchanged. The fortress that does not react to siege does not fall. Your correction: practice cold observation. When someone insults you, you notice it. You file it. You do not respond. When someone undervalues you, you hear their offer. You decline calmly. You do not explain why it's offensive. You simply move to someone who values you correctly. Every emotional reaction you suppress is power you retain. Every time you want to defend yourself and you don't, you grow stronger. Every moment you feel disrespected and you show nothing, you become more dangerous. This is not suppression. This is discipline. Warriors train emotional detachment, not because they don't feel, but because feeling in combat gets you killed. You are in combat. Every negotiation, every interaction, every business dealing. People are testing you constantly to see if you can be emotionally manipulated. Show them you cannot. When they insult you, smile slightly and say nothing. When they lowball you, say no thank you, and end the conversation. When they dismiss you, let them, then succeed without them and never mention it. The person who cannot provoke you cannot control you. Be that person. You're always there, always helping, always engaged. You think this builds relationships, creates goodwill, demonstrates commitment. It doesn't. It creates dependency. And dependency makes you responsible for problems that aren't yours. Withdrawal is a weapon you've never used. You don't know how to leave, how to create absence, how to let people feel what it's like when you're not solving their problems. Here's the reality. People value what they fear losing, not what they already have. You are always available. Therefore, you cannot be lost. Therefore, you have no value when they're in their hierarchy of attention. The moment you withdraw, everything changes. Suddenly, they notice. Suddenly, your contributions become visible. Suddenly, they realize they need you, but only when you're not there. Machiavelli understood that power is maintained through strategic distance, not a constant proximity. The prince who is always among the people becomes one of them. The prince who appears, acts, and withdraws remains royal. Your presence must be an event, not a condition. Your correction is immediate and painful. Stop being available. Stop solving every problem. Stop responding to every request. Let things fail without you. Let people struggle. Let them wonder where you went. This is not cruelty. This is recalibration. You have trained people to expect your constant intervention. Now you untrain them. You withdraw your labor, your attention, your problem solving. Not forever, strategically, long enough for them to feel the absence. When they reach out, you are busy. When they ask for help, you have other commitments. When they expect you to save them, you are unavailable. This is not petty. This is structural. You are reallocating your resources to higher value activities. They are no longer your priority. Watch what happens. They panic. They offer more. They suddenly recognize your value. They negotiate. This is the power of scarcity made real through absence. But most people cannot do this. They feel guilty. They feel responsible. They cave. They rush back in to fix the problem because they cannot stand the discomfort of being needed and refusing to help. This is why most people stay poor. They cannot weaponize their absence. They cannot let anyone down. They cannot watch someone struggle and do nothing. You must become capable of this, not because you lack compassion, but because compassion without boundaries is exploitation waiting to happen. People will take everything you give and ask for more. The only thing that stops this is your willingness to stop giving. Withdraw. Let them miss you. Let them realize what you are doing. Then and only then return on your terms. With new boundaries, new rates, new respect. You talk about what you're going to do, your plans, your goals, your next big move. You think this creates accountability, builds excitement, generates support. It does none of these things. It bleeds your power before you've accumulated any. Every time you announced an intention, you create resistance. People who doubt you now have advance notice. People who envy you now have time to sabotage. People who don't want you to succeed now have a target. But worse than that, announcement creates the psychological reward of completion without the actual work. Your brain treats the telling as partial achievement. The dopamine hits, the social validation arrives, and your subconscious motivation to actually do the thing decreases. This is why people who talk constantly about their goals rarely achieve them. They've already received the reward. The announcement was the climax. The work is now just obligation. Machiavelli advised princes to conceal their designs until the moment of execution. Because once you move in silence, you move without opposition. No one can stop what they don't see coming. No one can undermine what they don't know exists. Your correction, stop. Announcing, build in private, work in silence. Let your results be the first thing anyone hears about your ambitions. You're starting a business. Don't tell anyone. Build it. Launch it. Get your first clients. Then, when someone asks what you've been up to, you show them a functioning enterprise, not a plan, not a dream, a reality. You're learning a new skill. Silence. Master it. Use it. Produce something undeniable with it. Then let people discover you've been competent at this thing the whole time. You're leaving your job. They find out when you resign, not 6 months before when you're thinking about it. You give them no time to counteroffer, no opportunity to make your life difficult, no advance warning that allows them to prepare your replacement. This is not deception. This is operational security. You are protecting your plans from interference. You are protecting your psychology from premature validation. You are protecting your success from people who benefit from your failure. And when you do this, something remarkable happens. You start finishing things because the only dopamine available is from actual completion. You start succeeding because no one is in your way. You start being taken seriously because you show up with results, not promises. People who talk are planning. People who build in silence are executing. The market rewards execution, only execution. Your new pattern, silence until victory. Then announce nothing. Let them discover it. Let your work speak, but only after it exists, never before. You're loyal to people who do not deserve it. Your employer, your clients, your relationships. You give commitment without demanding it in return. You stay when you should leave. You tolerate disrespect because you made some historical commitment to the relationship. This is slave morality. Loyalty is a transaction. It has a price. You are currently giving it away for free, which means you're being exploited. Every time you stay loyal to someone who undervalues you, you tell the market that your loyalty has no cost, that you can be taken for granted. Powerful people understand this completely. They are loyal to exactly one thing, their own interests. When someone serves those interests, they receive loyalty. When they stop serving those interests, the loyalty ends immediately, without guilt, without sentimentality. But you stay in jobs that don't pay you enough out of loyalty. You keep clients who disrespect you out of loyalty. You maintain relationships that cost you more than they give out of loyalty. You think this makes you honorable. It makes you exploitable. Machiavelli wrote extensively about this. The prince who trusts in the loyalty of others without ensuring their dependence is a fool. Loyalty exists only while interest aligns. The moment interest diverges, loyalty evaporates. This is not cynicism. This is observation. Your correction, audit every relationship for reciprocity. Who are you loyal to that is not equally loyal to you? Who demands your commitment while offering none? Who benefits from your presence while giving you scraps? These relationships end. Not dramatically, not emotionally, strategically. You withdraw your loyalty and reallocate it to people who value it correctly. You stop being available. You stop going above and beyond. You deliver exactly what was agreed upon and nothing more. And when they notice the change, when they ask what happened, you say nothing. You continue operating at the new level. If they want more, they pay more. If they want commitment, they offer commitment. If they want loyalty, they purchase it through consistent reciprocal value. This will feel ruthless. It should. You have been operating under a system where you give everything and receive whatever they feel like giving. That system ends now. The new system is simple: equal exchange or no exchange. Most people cannot do this. They feel guilty. They feel like they're betraying some sacred bond. There is no sacred bond. There is an agreement. When one party violates the agreement by taking more than they give, the agreement is void. You are not obligated to continue honoring contracts that the other party has already broken. You are not required to be loyal to people who are not loyal to you. You are permitted to operate in your own interest. Start doing so. The transformation from servant to sovereign. You came here as someone who asks permission. You will leave as someone who grants it. That is the shift. That is the entire mechanism of wealth. Poor people seek approval. Rich people grant it. Poor people explain themselves. Rich people issue statements. Poor people react emotionally. Rich people observe coldly. Poor people are always available. Rich people are strategically scarce. Poor people give loyalty for free. Rich people sell it at market rate. This is not about money. Money is the byproduct. This is about power, about who kneels and who stands, about who begs and who chooses. You have been kneeling your entire life to bosses, to clients, to social expectations, to people who matter less than you've been taught to believe. That ends now. You will implement these laws, not because you like them, not because they feel good, because they work, because the world responds to power, not virtue, because markets reward dominance, not fairness, because wealth flows to those who control the frame, not those who operate within someone else's. Every day from this moment forward, you will catch yourself explaining when you should be stating, reacting when you should be observing, being available when you should be scarce, giving loyalty when you should be demanding reciprocity. And every time you catch yourself, you will correct immediately, without hesitation. This is not a mindset shift. This is identity replacement. The person who operated under the old rules must die completely, permanently. No remnant can remain because even a shred of the old programming will sabotage the new power. You are becoming someone else. someone harder, someone colder, someone more valuable. The market does not care about your comfort during this transformation. Neither do I. You now possess knowledge that most people will never accept. They will hear these principles and reject them as cruel, manipulative, inhuman. Let them. Their rejection is proof they were never meant to hold power, but there are deeper patterns, mechanisms I have not shared, strategies that work only after these foundations are mastered, psychological frameworks that cannot be spoken publicly because they would be weaponized incorrectly by those who are not ready. If you have felt something shift while reading this, if you recognize yourself in the weaknesses I described and felt genuine desire to eliminate them, you are different. You may be ready for what comes next, but most are not. Most will implement nothing. Most will return to explaining themselves tomorrow. Most will stay exactly where they are, hoping that fairness will eventually reward them. You are not most people, or you wouldn't still be reading. The path from here is yours to walk. I have shown you the gate. Whether you pass through it is not my concern. I will be on the other side with others who made the crossing. We do not wait for those who hesitate. We do not slow down for those who doubt. You have everything you need. The only question remaining is whether you have the stomach to use it. Most don't. Prove you're not most.